Hi guys, this is Nathan Tusi with your daily review. We're going to go over the major pairs and cover some of the longer term outlook. Hopefully give you a good idea of what to expect, what to look out for, what levels to watch, what patterns to look out for, and hopefully this will make your trading more profitable. First of all, we're going to go over the news for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a ton of news. Most of it's not red tagged, but there is some, as you can see. If you're trading the London session, make sure that you're looking for this Swiss news that you see here. 3 red tagged events at 3:30 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you're looking out for those if you're trading the London session. And then tomorrow morning we have U.S. dollar red tagged events. The unemployment claims is pretty big, so keep your eye on that. That's red tagged for a reason. That should move the market substantially if there's an unexpected deviation there. And then later on in the afternoon we have pound news, so we will make sure that we look out for that. Okay, so that's the news. As always, the advice is to make sure that you're looking out for the news and make sure that you know what's going on there, because it can and will affect the market. Okay, starting off with the euro dollar today. The euro dollar is a little bit interesting because of what we see over the last just few bars. As you can see, the euro dollar gapped up to start this week and then powered all the way back down. We had this massive tail. And my suspicion was that that would kind of follow through with bearish momentum throughout the week because of that kind of kickstart to the downside that we got. But of course, the market likes to trick people like me and do a little reversal. So we had this stall bar here, which kind of set it up to go either way, and then we had a very strong bullish bar, today's bar. So a lot of momentum in today's bar back to the upside. Now, of course, the issue with that is that now we're just running right back into some resistance, so it doesn't give you a clear direction as to whether the momentum is going to continue or if we're going to be in a sideways market. So when you get this many chops back and forth, the wisest thing to do is probably to go ahead, draw your little channel here, and just let it break out and test the level and go on from there, because you don't really want to be caught trying to get pips as it's bouncing in between levels. So for now, I think the best advice is to just kind of stay out of the euro dollar and let it make up its mind before we continue our trading. I do believe that it's going to get back into a trend. Whether that's up or down, I'm not sure, but I think that we're going to have some good trending opportunities as long as we're patient and we wait for them. Okay, pound dollar was different. I want to show you pound dollar because euro dollar had a great bullish day, but pound dollar obviously did not. So you see that the pound was bearish, even though the euro was bullish. So obviously that shows that there's some euro strength because the pound did not have the same reaction against dollar as euro did. Again, we point out this level, which is a pretty big level, and a lot of tails up there. You see 4 tails coming close to that level, and today we have a small little tail bar pushing back to the downside. And so it's the first bar that we've had that actually was bearish right off this level. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to push price back down. Oh, there's a live trading station through my broker. Thank you for that. Sorry about that. But we see that there's a push off this level, and it actually is a bearish bar. So my suspicion is that we're going to come back down at least at the bottom of this little channel and test this level again. Whether that is worth trading that amount of pips is up for you to determine, but I do think that's a pretty high probability expectation because of this little bearish tail. Now let me jump to the US yen, because the US yen is a pair that we talked about has broken out of this trend but has not decided which way it's going to go since the break. Now we do see that it's created a little bit of a tail, or excuse me, a top here, which you've seen almost every bar, or actually every single bar, has touched this and kind of hovered right below it. So I guess the question is this a bull flag that we're seeing, or is it an actual you know consolidation and then a return back to the downtrend? So probably one of these is the case, and the question is which one. Um, for traders, I would recommend that you wait for something to happen here. That's almost always my advice when you get in these little wimpy, choppy bars. And the logic behind that is just why would you trade a choppy market like this when you could go to a different pair and find a more definite direction? So that's kind of why my advice is always, waiting in situations like this. Um, if we do get a break below and we start testing this trend line again, then we'll have great short opportunities. And if we burst out of the top here with some momentum, then we'll have some good long opportunities. But I just don't think that we have either of those yet. Okay, so my advice is to wait, get some more definite direction on that, and in the meantime, trade different pairs. For instance, like the New Zealand dollar is actually starting to make some definite movement now. We've had some bullish movement. Now it's struggling with some resistance levels here and back here, but it does look to be continuing to store some kind of bullish movement. Obviously, my expectations, as I mentioned before, are that it's going to continue and come at least to the bottom of this area and test that, because I think that this is acting as a vacuum, as I've mentioned many times, for price. So I'm kind of testing a support and resistance level here. It's both, but if it continues up, we should have some great long opportunities on the way up. If this next daily bar is bullish, then that to me would be a confirmation of bullish momentum for New Zealand dollar. Okay, euro pound is a pair that we haven't looked at in a little while because it's hasn't made much of a movement either. It's kind of been hanging between these two lines as I've drawn. But today, with that pound weakness against the dollar that I showed you and the euro strength against the dollar, that combined for a really nice euro pound daily bar. And as you can see, it's right on this line that I drew. We had some choppiness here, a fake out tail, and then a test of the bottom level. And now we have the best candle that we've seen in a little while. So a very nice, strong bullish candle. Obviously, if you're expecting these levels to hold, you don't have very much room before it comes up and tests this level. But what you can do if you're interested in taking this long, which is a lot of times what we recommend if you're looking for shorter targets, is if your consensus is that it's going to go up and you think it's probably going to test this area, you could take a long entry but tighten your stop up based on a 1 hour or a 4 hour, so that you're not risking this full body bar just to get to the top of this level. Instead, you're only risking a quarter or a third of the bar, and so that way you still maintain a good risk to reward ratio. And I think that's probably a pretty good way to play that long if you're interested in taking an entry based on the break of this level. Okay, that brings us to euro yen. And euro yen is one that we've been interested in because euro yen had a very definite trend for a consistent amount of time, and now, like some of the other pairs that we looked at, it's kind of hanging, and it's hanging in the balance and not really making a decision. So when a currency pair is just sitting like that, I go back to what I always say. Wait till it comes out of that range. Let me move this away. Wait till it comes out of this range and either shows you that it's continuing the downtrend or it is making a full-blown reversal. In my opinion, there's no sense trading it when it's just chopping there, especially if you're looking at daily solid entries, which in my opinion are the more consistent patterns and levels to look at are daily and weekly compared to the smaller time frames. But that's just my opinion, and as you know and I know, there are many traders who trade smaller time frames and are successful. But as for me, I think that the longer time frames provide a more consistent basis to look off. Okay, pound yen is another one that has been kind of sitting at a level. But however, in my opinion, pound yen, this signal, this short signal, is a little bit better signal than any of the other pairs that are chopping around. So in this case, I might actually consider taking a trade, even though it's still in a little bit of a zone here. And the reason being is because you have a lot of downward momentum pushing pound yen. The retracement is one that makes sense for just a normal trend retracement. And this bar is different than any of the other bars on the chart in the recent past. And what I mean by that is if you look at these couple bars, this is a bullish bar, this is a bullish tail bar, and this is a bullish bar. This is a bearish bar, but it has a tail pushing to the upside, showing that it's not finishing with bearish momentum. This bar actually has a push from the top, which we see here, and it's finishing solidly at the bottom, showing bearish momentum. So to me, this bar, even though it's in this little channel, is different than all these other bars that are chopping around, and actually gives me some confidence in a bearish direction. So that's a bar that I would consider taking and expecting a follow through down to this area. Okay, that's my pound yen, a personal opinion. Of course, I have to be careful that as a forex education site, we're not giving you advice on what you should be doing with your money. We're just suggesting things that the chart might be telling us. So I can't tell you to take a short on the pound yen, but I am telling you that as far as what I see, it's appealing to me because of that signal. Okay, the Euro AUD and the Euro CAD are two other ones that we've been interested in because of, again, definite direction. We like things that are showing us definite direction, and both the Euro AUD and the Euro CAD are showing definite direction. Here, the definite direction has been short; it's been south, and today's bar definitely a bullish bar, but nothing that's breaking us out of the downward movement. If we do see this continue to bounce and come up and touch this trend line, be looking out for a really good short opportunity there, because if it tests that trend line and then gives you a bearish bar, that would be a really good short opportunity, in my opinion, and definitely something that might be worth jumping on and taking advantage of if you're interested in shorting the Euro AUD. The Euro CAD is similar, however the downtrend is just a little bit longer term, and you see that we have a longer term line drawn here, and we also are closer to testing this level again. So let me put this up. So if you count this blue line as your previous low, you get a test of this level and a bearish bar, you could be looking to come back and test the previous low, which would probably be a pretty high probability short opportunity. Pound New Zealand is another pair that that was bearish today because of the pound weakness, and you see that it's testing this little level here, which there's some tails here, a lot of tails here, and then of course this previous tail here. So wouldn't recommend jumping on short yet at this time, but it does look like it is going to continue the momentum down. If it breaks this level, certainly some good short opportunities will arrive. And as Tony was pointing out to me earlier, the weekly bar here, when you look at a weekly chart, there is no sign of bullish movement, even with that choppiness and the gap to the upside. When you look at it from the longer term perspective and filter out kind of the intraday stuff, you see that the bearish momentum really is strong here, and there's no sign of a bullish movement. Okay, so that's about it for my analysis. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave you a good outlook for these major currencies. And as always, I encourage you to please leave your comments or any questions you have, or any thoughts that you might have. I will talk to you soon, and enjoy your trading. Be careful with the news. Use smart risk, and I'll see you soon.